Hello everybody, welcome back to the Agent Carter Vlogs. We're on Season 2, Episode 4, technically. It's a bit confusing because the first two episodes just aired back to back. I'm Slider, and I am joined by a bigger fangirl than I'll ever be, Mangala.
Hiya.
Well, I guess that's true. I would not be a fangirl for obvious reasons, but whatever.
Everyone's a fangirl for Peggy.
Even guys fangirl for Peggy. That is true.
Yeah.
Now, on this episode, as usual, I'll start with the general plot of what happened. And this episode, Peggy and Jarvis once again try to go after the Arena Social Club. Go after one of their members, Rufus Hunt, they call him, for some clues. Now, Jarvis pretends to be an officer with the strangest voice he could possibly think up, I assume.
He's not as good at Peggy as putting on the accents,
No,
poor guy.
I'm not even sure what accent he pulled or why.
I don't think he knew what he was doing.
So it was to trick him into trying to escape only to run into Peggy. Now, in theory, the tranquilizer gun Peggy had should have been enough, but it takes a quick fight for her to put the tranquilizer back in, and even then, she has to knock him out again when he's in the trunk, which is pretty funny. But Sousa quickly finds out because he blatantly talks, and he's just like, yeah, we caught like a mongoose or something, and
she's like, yeah, we got a possum, and then it starts talking. It's like, or we have a person in the boat.
Now, in order to get information from Hunt, she gives him what is basically Stark Industries malaria trademark.
It's not malaria, it's a
Yes.
cold. She just tells him it's
I know,
malaria
that's
because she knows
the
he
best
served
part.
in the Pacific.
Now, eventually he reveals all, but is terrified of what the club will try to do to him because he talked, despite them saying that the SSR will try to protect him. Now, they're about to get a warrant to raid the Arena Club, like all their officers, when the FBI ruins everything.
Create a subtitle for the series.
Yes, it is. They basically passive-aggressively threaten everyone with some Red Scare shit.
I love the fact that Susan's like, what, because there's going to be a tidal wave and all my friends are communists? Yeah, I got that speech too.
Yeah.
So the guy doesn't even come with original evil speeches. He plans his evil
Yes.
speeches.
He writes them down. Now, they put a thing on Hunt in order to track him when he goes back to someone, and he ends up going back to Whitney Frost. They overhear him, and then Chadwick comes in, but because he betrayed him, Whitney reveals herself as Miss Zero Matter and completely consumes him, I guess.
Now the husband knows what he's messing with.
Chadwick is terrified, and now Whitney is essentially in control. Well, more blatantly in control, I suppose. But that's obviously not a lot to a plot. So there's actually a second plot going to flashing back to two of the characters. First of all, it goes to Peggy, which starts with this borderline, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it felt a little backpedaling or pandering, because it was like, see, when she was young, she wanted to rescue a princess, see? There could still be gay, maybe.
I don't think it's even so much a gay thing as it's just the fact that she wanted to be a hero.
Well,
And the rules you get, the rules you get in stories, especially back then, are there's the princess who needs rescued and the prince who rescues her.
I don't disagree.
And if Peggy,
but
if Peggy doesn't want to be rescued, she wants to do the rescuing. She has to be a prince rescuing princesses.
Yeah, I don't disagree, but I do prefer the idea that maybe there is some gay to this series.
I mean, I am literally always for gay subtext. You cannot take my gay subtext away from me. I'm just saying that's also probably more what they were going for than gay subtext.
Yeah, most likely. But a bit later, they show her they go through a bunch of flashbacks throughout the episode. Later in, 1940, they go show her being asked to join the field work in the war. No, it is always it was generally surprising to see vulnerable, like sort of Peggy as an adult.
Yeah, before she was trained by the SOE, when she was just your regular code breaker who was about to get married and didn't think and couldn't quite parse the idea that field work was a place for a woman.
Yeah.
Because she'd basically had that browbeaten out of her, you know.
Later, there's a scene with her boyfriend and I'm pretty sure her brother at their engagement party for her. But once the boyfriend leaves, his brother tries really hard to convince her to join a war because that's more what she would want to do. That's more the type of person she is. It's like, I mean, he's right, but that is kind of really shitty timing to do that at her engagement party.
The timing is crappy, but also, to be fair, her fiance was kind of being like the whole time you can see the brother's face is like, what is my sister doing with this ass clown who doesn't think she's capable of doing greater things?
Though I don't think we saw enough to confirm he's an ass clown because literally the next flashback scene directly shows, or at least implies to the point that there's no other way to look at it, that her boyfriend dies in the war. And as the
No, it was her brother who died.
Oh, really?
She was with her mum. That was her mum collapsing
Real-
when she got the news from the soldiers out front, and she goes, "Oh
Because-
no, Michael,"
oh,
which was
oh,
the brother's
oh,
name, not the fiance's.
Really? I honestly didn't get that because of what happens immediately afterwards, I guess.
Well, it's, her brother says he was the one that suggested her for SOE work because he knows
Oh,
that's
okay.
more what she wants.
Okay,
out of life.
I didn't
And when
get
she
that
finds
at all.
out when she finds out he's dead, she just apparently decides, he gave her a shot to do something that she actually quite wanted to do, and in his memory, she's going to take it.
Yeah.
And of course, she's flippin' born for it.
Yeah, by the way, I love the visual of just her hand just picking up the SOE letter and placing down the ring in the same place.
Yeah.
That's a really cool one.
It's like, it's really sad that she had to make that decision, that she had to choose between one or the other.
Yeah.
But
And then we get to the other focus of this episode, which goes more into Frost's backstory.
I do love a lot of the comparison and contrast between Peggy's backstory and Whitney's, or Aggie.
Yeah.
She is when she was young.
Yeah, like I basically summed up the first part as Frost's backstory, shitty parenting, looks over brains, sexism. I mean, that does sum it up, but it actually is a very good showcase of why her character is how she is.
Yeah, because, the first looks we get at Baby Peggy and Baby Aggie, they're doing something that they enjoy and they have an interest in. Peggy's playing her adventure games, Aggie's fixing the radio, and getting told not to by a grown-up in their life because it's not ladylike. They need to be ladylike. But, see, in Peggy's case, she has her brother. She has someone there who, throughout her adult life, is supporting her and going, you should do what you want to do and what you're good at, not what people keep telling you need to do as a lady. And Whitney doesn't.
Definitely.
Like, she continues to get shut down by her mother. She takes a real chance at applying to a university, and she gets shut down by then. She gets shut down by her mother, who is just so incredibly bitter. And
yes.
just absolutely convinced that there is the only value she's ever going to have is if she make it. And, the sad thing is that is kind of being encouraged both by... Frankly, it's the impression you get through certain aspects of media these days, is that if you're female, it doesn't matter how smart you are, how capable you are, you gotta look pretty or nobody takes you seriously. And which, gets laid down in pretty heavy terms, but again, it's accurate to them. It's frustratingly accurate to now. We do see that from her lifetime. She's become famous as an actress. She is the genius behind Isodyne Energy, but she's America's sweetheart because she's a pretty face in the movies. And who is, also... She's been told she has a limited shelf life that's based entirely on her looks, and she's already expiring in her, 30s at most.
Well, that even more so because of the Zero Matter.
Yeah.
But, I will say, I do really like the backstories, but I will say this is like not a fault of the series at all, but the problem for me is that the definitive version of this sort of combine our backstories in order to show our hero and villain sort of thing was already done too perfectly to the point that no one will ever do it as well in Avatar.
Yeah.
So I have to compare it to that, and it's impossible for anything else to live up to it, unfortunately.
Okay, the first rule is don't compare things to Avatar because they'll never measure up and nothing will ever be as good.
Yeah, I know, but it was hard not to with this one. Because it is at its core the exact same thing.
Yeah, and see, the thing is, a really good hero-villain relation dynamic is one where they are reflections of each other. And we're getting that very much in Whitney and Peggy here.
Yeah.
Which is, it's great, and I love it, and it's what will make them really good enemies.
Yeah, and it is not too surprising because that is pretty much the theme of this entire series, is women being secretly great.
Yeah, and men regretting that they didn't notice it sooner, quite painfully regretting in most cases. And
people named Jack Thompson being tools.
That's not really a subtle aspect to the series. That's just
speaking of which, Whitney Frost's actual name is Agnes Coley, and I have in my notes here more like Agnes Cooley. Huh?
No.
I genuinely wonder if that was thought of, because they already have the one who was dealt with, who gets infected with the thing that causes people to freeze to death is called Frost. So if their real name is Coley, it might as well just be another terrible pun.
I was just wondering, given her marriage to a major member of the Male and Pale group, if that wasn't why she chose the name Whitney. I do enjoy that in the flashbacks, and it is basically the entire difference is that Peggy had support from her brother and Whitney had absolutely nothing, and that's made her just, in her own way, as bitter as her mother. And giving someone that bitter and angry superpowers, that doesn't end well for anybody. Oh yeah, we also had, in Whitney's story, we also get people continually telling her to smile, which...
Oh,
I know you haven't seen Jessica Jones yet, but that is actually a running thing, is that one of the creepiest aspects of Kilgrave is his thing about getting people to telling people to smile. Like, in real life, probably every woman listening to this knows creepy dudes walking up and going, "Hey, you should smile, fuck off."
Yeah, I've been told very well that never ever tell a woman to smile.
No, it's none of your business what she looks like. Just, in general, any dudes listen to this, it's none of your business what expression a random stranger woman has on her face. It's, it's creepy, it's invasive, and especially any man who has a mustache, like the man who goes up to Whitney and tells her to smile. A man like that walks up and tells you to smile, you hit him with the mace and you run. You do not trust a mustache that looks like that.
Yeah. Honestly, it sounds like something the Joker would do. Why don't you smile? And it does the creepy gas that makes everyone laugh to death.
That's pretty accurate. You gotta smile more.
So yeah, that's basically what happens in the episode. I have a few notes at least. Oh yeah, I completely forgot from Peggy's quick flashback as a little girl. Her mother's like, "One day you're gonna have to start acting like a lady," and then it cuts to modern day Peggy just eating eating a pastry like a slob. It's great.
Eating a donut in the most unladylike manner she can possibly manage.
Yeah, it reminded me of Bill Murray in Groundhog Day. Waiting for her to be like, "What?"
I actually do love... This is a weird thing to focus on, but I love the way Peggy eats. She doesn't eat all dainty, trying to spare her lipstick or anything. She eats like a soldier. She's trying to get as much food in her mouth as possible in case guns start going off soon.
It's great.
I love that. It's... and the closest... I think that even happens when she's eating Violet's cookies. She looks like she's trying to get a whole cookie in her mouth at once. and Rose is like, she's already eaten 3. Well, they're delicious.
They are delicious.
Because, kicking the asses of criminal scum all across the U.S. takes energy.
It does. There was a quick scene where Jarvis gets her, a button for, I want to say Chadwick or something.
I think it's Chadwick. I think it's a campaign button.
Yeah, it was to try to blend in. But my sense of humor immediately just made me think, I wish Jarvis just got her bun for no reason instead. like, just for no reason at all, just did it. Like, that's pretty much my sense of humor in general. Like, I hope everything just happens for no reason because it'd be funnier.
I just feel like, if people were handing out buttons and Jarvis just has to very politely accept one.
Reasons I'm trying to remember. One of my notes just says koala.
Oh, yes, when he's got the tranquilizer gun and Peggy's like, how... do you often use a tranquilizer gun? And he's like, wrangling Mr. Stark's menagerie, and she's like, not the flamingo. And what's... Oh, I wrote the quote down. Where is it? Oh god, he's like, it's not the flamingo, the koala. Oh, I thought I wrote it down, but apparently not. It's just like, oh yes, its adorable appearance belies a vicious temperament.
It's great.
It's precious.
So at one point in the middle of the episode, Whitney Frost tries to test her zero matter to eat a rat, essentially. And then she does so. Good job, Whitney. You ate a rat. Good job.
I do kind of love how she seems to go through the whole thing and she's taking notes while she does, because she's a scientist.
Yes.
She is scientifically analysing her own superpowers. I don't know why I love that, but I really do.
Yeah. And also because she has to, because she's turning into this skin-breaking, like literally breaking, supervillain. So she really wants to get that looked at.
Yeah, it's like Whitney, you've got a little something on your never mind.
Yeah.
I do kind of want a moment of like Peggy or Jarvis or someone just very politely, you have something on your just up on the something. Never mind. That would be way too funny for. Oh, I also love Jarvis after he's been tranked.
Yes.
Or he's just slumped.
I love what it says when he gets tranked. Jarvis. Face.
And he's just like, oh, mummy, that pony, something like that.
Jarvis is my new favorite word.
Oh, it's so ridiculous and so cute.
Jarvis's sleeping face is genuinely terrifying. It's just on the window. Like, that's... Ugh. That was genuinely kind of creepy.
Oh, I found that whole thing adorable. It was so funny.
I also really like the part where Peggy just casually says she'll kill Hunt. No, I'm gonna kill him. No big deal. Okay.
I do love that whole charade just to freak him out, and just Sousa's so annoyed with it at first, but he ends up just going with it because they do need that information.
It almost made me think that she was actually going to be like completely messed up evil with that.
I mean, she was, trained in what was termed ungentlemanly warfare at the time, I believe. But I do love that it's very much about a psychological warfare. She's not actually going to evilly murder this dude, but she messes with his head so much.
She certainly does.
And it kind of, I think it helps that she's playing on the fact that he expects her to be someone like him. Who will torture and kill people. You get a bit later and Sousa's apologizing and she's like, for basically not expecting his boss to be evil, and Peggy's like, don't apologize for believing people have ethics and morals.
I think my favorite quote is when they're about to raid the club. When Peggy says, that's right, he did say hidden door in secret area. We're dealing with odd rich men here. They love this sort of thing.
I do love how, the Arena Club is trying so hard to be sinister. I'm never not amused by how much they want to be the most sinister supervillains.
Yes.
And Whitney is still the most dangerous person walking around there, and, none of them realize it till her husband at the end of the episode is like, oh, shit.
Yeah. I want them to get, like cheesy villain themes every time their scenes start. Like something like out of, like, the old Power Rangers. Which is this, like, cheesy music scene every time they appear.
They call themselves the Council of Nine, and they extinguish candles with their fingers, and, like, I want, like, at least two of them to have fluffy white cats, just to complete, just to cram as many cliches in there as possible, and they're just still not, like, even when the guy's given the whole, the tide is of which McCarthyism or whatever is coming, and he's trying so hard to be sinister, and the harder he tries, the less he is. And Peggy's just not impressed either. She's not even scared. Like,
Yes.
she was a little at first, and Sue's is like, yeah, I got the speech too, and she's like, couldn't even come up with his own speech. I did kind of expect the fiance to turn out to get dead, because I was like, she's engaged in 1940. He's gonna die, isn't he? To be fair, we don't know that he didn't, but she took off to train for the war after her brother died, which I was sad at, because I really liked him. He was a lot like Peggy in certain ways, like especially his sense of humor and just how annoyed he was by people putting down his sister just for being a woman. Like, it's that same burning rage that Peggy expresses when dealing with racists while she's running around with Wilkes, in episode 2. It's that he's got that same hatred of other people being treated unjustly, and in this case it's the saving of Peggy, basically.
That's one thing that I don't know exactly how to feel about, because it seems like Peggy falls for a lot of guys in this series, and it keeps ending horribly.
Well, again, we don't know that the fiancé is dead, so at least there isn't that. At least she isn't doing that, Yoko from Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann thing. Every guy she kisses dies shortly thereafter. To be fair, Wilkes isn't actually dead either.
Yeah. But he did die, we thought. So I was like seriously.
Yeah, we thought it was that for a minute.
And though with that in mind, Sousa better be careful.
Well, is he still going out with that nurse? Because, stick with the nurse, honey. She's sweet.
Yeah.
And you don't have to compete with Peggy against. Although I do wonder if, I need to look up if, at that period of American history, Peggy and Wilkes' relationship was even legal. Because I think there were still some pretty racist laws going around at that time.
That would probably be true, yes.
Because I do also wonder if they're trying to stick canon to the Winter Soldier, where by 1955 she is married by someone who served during the war. And I don't think Wilkes ever mentions serving in the military during Second World War. So presumably she's got another dude in her future somewhere. Probably,
although something kind of depressing I just thought about is that, even if somehow she did end up with the best character, Angie, well, Captain America Winter Soldier came out in 2014. And technically that means there's a possibility, depending where they live, that they would not been able to get married. I just thought of that.
Sad.
What a tragedy.
Okay, yeah, it says on Wikipedia, interracial marriage laws got repealed in the US between 1948 and 1967 in various states. So, yeah, it wouldn't actually be legal at that point.
Maybe it becomes legal, at the end of the season. Well, maybe next season. I think it's 47 this season takes place.
Well, that said, I'm not entirely sure it was ever illegal in the UK, so she could always just take him back to Britain with her.
Well, there's that, I guess.
What else have I gotten? I kind of don't want her to wind up with Sousa just because of a lot of the fuckery that's going on in that relationship. Although I do have a note here that it says Sousa insisting, "Please Peggy, let me help." I'm like, is that a Star Trek "Let Me Help"? There's this one episode of Star Trek where Kirk is City on the Edge of Forever, such a good episode, and Kirk is quoting a book that's written in the future about an author saying that the words "let me help" are the greatest declaration of love, even above the words "I love you." And then a lot of people have made a lot of the fact that in the very next episode written and broadcast, something Spock says when he's in the med bay is like, "I'm fine, Captain. Please let me help." A lot of meta written, but just now every time I see the phrase "let me help" in just any form of media, my brain thinks back to that as as an expression of love, as not just straight up saying "I love you," but "I love you and I want to help you."
I mean, that is sweet in a way, but I don't think I would take that on its own as...
No, I wouldn't. That's just where my brain goes. Oh yeah, I've just found that other quote, which is one of the lines I really enjoyed from Peggy's brother when Fred's asking what the front is like. He's like, "There are rather a lot of Nazis, and they intend to shoot at you."
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm so sad this guy's dead, and we're not going to get to see him and Peggy hang out and drink with each other. Although, to be fair, this is Marvel, and we never saw a corpse.
That is important. I mean, we literally just had a guy turned out to not be dead last episode, so, hey.
Yeah,
who knows?
just kind of floating between reality. And, 70 years from now, her boyfriend and his boyfriend are going to turn out to be still alive. I do also like that line Peggy has, there is no reason to prevent the SSR from enforcing the law even on those who think they are above it.
One last quick thing. There is some weird thing going on with Wilkes, where he starts seeing, like, zero matter appear in, like, places, and he's, like, distracted by it.
He's seeing those flippin' Doctor Who cracks in reality or something.
Yeah. So I literally just thought of this. I think it's interesting that he's distracted, considering how Peggy is consistently distracted by having this sexy guy in front of her.
That she can't touch.
Yeah.
She can't go for the ab touch like she did with Steve.
Like, they actually have very similar reactions in this episode, I just realized. Just for vastly different reasons.
Just Peggy's so unsubtle about how much she fancies him, and my heart's breaking for her because I feel like this is going to end horribly. And Sousa's continually making jealous faces from across the room at him.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, the guy's intangible. There's not that much he's going to do.
Yeah. Actually, imagine being like, you better not touch her. And then Wilkes is like, I think I can manage that.
I literally can't.
Actually, that would be great for, like, someone to do, like really silly, like, cartoony comics of just them being, like, childish and jealous and stuff. That could actually be really funny.
Oh, I just remembered another bit I quite liked. It's just, we still haven't seen Rose again, which is sad because I love her, but just the couple of casual little mentions of her that I enjoyed. First, her apparently being just an information-gathering goddess for Peggy. I love that kind of thing. And also the fact that the way Sousa manages to sneak out some of the stuff is by telling the technician he'll put in a good word with Rose for him. I kind of enjoy the fact that even with Peggy Carter walking around, the person this random technician fancies is Rose, which is great because she's amazing. Like, I do want to see more of her just being like the ultimate information goddess of, LA.
Yeah, that could be pretty fun.
Also, she's espionage trained too. I want to see her get a shot at kicking somebody's ass.
Yeah. I also want to see more people enter the talent agency because that's consistently funny.
It's never not fun. It's just it's LA. There's struggling performers anywhere. They will find you.
Oh, I wonder. These should have a scene where Whitney Frost enters. That would be perfect. Oh my god, I just realized that.
She's not exactly struggling, but
Yeah, but like you can do some like ironic thing with her entering there.
Looking for young talent or something.
Yeah.
And it's just like, hi.
But I think she's looking for something else other than getting hired for talent.
I think she's enjoying the fact that she can do it. She's getting more into her own power.
Yeah.
And she's finally having some power for the first time of her life that isn't coming from the guy she's banging. It's all coming from her, and she gets to use it. There's nothing to stop her from using it. Which, she's doing horrible things. She's murdering people, but I do like that it's kind of sympathetic where she's coming from. They're like, yeah, if I was in your situation, I'd be killing people too.
Yeah.
I feel like she's gonna end up killing the husband sooner or later. That feels inevitable.
That's what I think. Should I say the terrible joke I've been thinking of for a while about Frost?
Go for it.
Okay. So last episode, like, she, killed that creep that was, being a creep to her.
And I made a horrible joke about that.
Yeah. Did you?
That he got what he wanted. Well, I shared my brother's horrible joke. He got what he wanted. He got inside of her.
Oh, God. Oh, you already beat me to it. God damn it.
Is that your...
It works.
I mean, no wonder the husband looks so horrified. He just watched another guy get inside of his wife.
Yeah.
Although, to be fair, the visuals are pretty horrific, especially because it seems to start with black goo bubbling out the eyes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, did H.P. Lovecraft co-write the series or something? Actually, it's nowhere near racist enough to be H.P. Lovecraft, but...
I wonder how he'll react to her rat fetish, though.
She's a scientist, they're lab rats, gotta keep... testing. for science. I am curious about what they're going to go for visually. Again, the masks in her, studio and so on are getting more and more prominent with every episode. There was a really lingering shot on those theatrical masks, the smile and the sorrow. Yeah. I need to actually find out something about Madame Mask. I know literally nothing about her except presumably that she's female and wears a mask. These are my brilliant deductions.
Brilliant. But I have to go, so I think we'll finish this off right now.
Yeah, pretty good stopping place. Thank you for listening, folks.
Yay. We'll see you next time.
Woo.